Welcome back to the channel. It's me, Adam, and you're watching Unlimited Options Investing. Facebook stock, Metaverse stock, should you continue holding it, or is it going to be dead weight over the next 6, 12, 18, or 24 months? So I just came out with a video grading all the big tech earnings over the last couple of weeks, and overall they were all exceptional except for one company, Facebook Meta Platforms. The numbers were just not there. Snapchat and TikTok are eating their lunch, and Apple is laughing at Mark Zuckerberg because of all those privacy changes that are eating up at Facebook's earnings. Usually when I say buy the dip, I mean so cautiously because you have to know what you're buying. Facebook Meta Platforms had a big change in this earnings report than previous ones. They missed on their bottom line, they missed on revenue guidance by a long shot, and their monthly active user number went down for the first time in a quarter. Not good news whatsoever. Hint, hint, TikTok and Snapchat. Millennials don't like Facebook, older generations do, and they're not using it as much as they. So I've been a pretty big bull on Facebook over the last couple of years since I got into the market. And honestly, after these numbers, I changed my mind completely. I sold out and put my money into AMD and Google. Because now with Meta Platforms, I don't know if they're going to turn it around. They probably will over the longer term, but I mean in the short to medium term, I think my money is better placed elsewhere in those kind of companies. Companies that are not only growing their top and their bottom lines, but also market. Whereas those companies have the wind in their backs, Facebook Meta Platforms does not. And you might argue the whole metaverse play over the next few years, but you know what? I think that part of their business is speculative. They're also losing a lot of money in it right now. Granted, they can take it. They still are they are a good company. They still generate profits, but at the same time, they're not growing. That's the massive, massive thing. So it's not really, so is it really a growth stock anymore? Is it turning more into a value stock? Is it a value trap? Are they going to start paying a dividend? Are they going to just invest everything into the metaverse? I don't know. If this is your first time on the channel, welcome aboard and hit that subscribe button. Here at Unlimited Options Investing, we talk everything from stocks, crypto, options, ETFs. We're investing for the long term. As always, smash that like button and let's get started. Alright, and specifically I want to pay your attention to this video from the Investor channel. This is one of my favorite YouTube channels. This guy knows his stuff when it comes to investing. It's one thing to read a balance sheet, but it's one thing to read it and also create judgments from it and create different perspectives from it. And it's very difficult for new investors, including myself, to be able to do that. So specifically with this video, he is calling out everyone who has been saying that Facebook has a PE or forward PE of 17.94, and he took it very personally. He's like, do not comment this on my channel because this is wrong information. Everywhere else that I've been seeing, including Jeremy from Financial Education, are referring to the 17.94 forward PE on Facebook, saying it's really cheap, it's a value stock. So without playing the entire 9-minute video for you, in a nutshell, so in quarter one of 2021, there was a revenue of $26.17 billion. They had costs of $14.79 billion, with totaling an operating income of $11.37 billion. Moving on to the next quarter, we had nice revenue growth at $29 billion, costs increasing by $2 billion, therefore the operating income only increasing by $1 billion. And this was also the quarter that Apple released their iOS privacy update. So what do we see the next quarter? We see revenue stall, although we see costs go up, and operating income actually going down, and this is very, very, very bad. The next quarter, quarter four, revenue was up, we remember. Which is also normal during the holiday season. We have more advertising. Costs going up again, another $2.5 billion. And operating income increasing again, similar to what it looked like in the second quarter. So now, given the guidance that Facebook provided of 2022 total expenses being in the range of 90 to 95 billion, so try to divide this number from annual to quarter, so we made the cost $23 billion as an estimate. And Facebook also saying they expect the revenue to be between $27 and $29 billion, whereas originally it was $30 billion. Also maybe assuming that Facebook is sandbagging their numbers, meaning they might come in somewhere between this $29 and $30 billion, it's anyone's guess. But then doing all the math, that gives you an operating income of $4 to $7 billion. This is much, much, much lower than we experienced in 2021. But again, these are all estimates. So this is where I ask you and let me know in the comments below, is Facebook actually a value stock or is it a value trap? Taking a look at the candlesticks, when will Facebook Meta Platforms get back above 300? It's anybody's guess. But again, we were trading between $300 and about $350, and it looked like we were potentially primed for a breakout, especially with all the other positive earnings that we were getting. And what happened? Facebook fell off an absolute cliff. And even after gapping down, opening up at 246, closing that first day at 237, we just continued going down. We see a doji candle around $220. We had a little bit of a reversal toward the upside, but this reverse in price doesn't need to hold whatsoever. It can continue falling after this. As always, the short term is anybody's guess. Facebook, Meta platforms have a long way to go to gain back that trust from investors, and once they do, they'll see that reflection in the stock price. So let me know in the comments below, are you still going to be investing in Facebook Meta platforms? Are you buying the dip? Are you selling out? Let me know. As always, subscribe and like, and I'll see you in the next video.